dynamic made the story even more intense. At the center of the situation was Charlie Kirk's sister, who had mostly stayed out of the spotlight before all of this. She was known for keeping things private and not getting involved in public drama. That is why people were surprised to see her suddenly become a major part of the discussion. It created a strong contrast. Joe Rogan recently spoke about a situation that has pulled a lot of attention online, and it quickly became one of the most talked about topics across social media. The discussion centered around Erika Kirk and her connection to Charlie Kirk and his family. What started as a normal segment turned into something much bigger, as people began to question what was really going on behind the scenes. The moment Rogan began sharing his thoughts, viewers could sense that this was not just a casual conversation. There was tension, there was curiosity, and most importantly, there were hints that something serious had been building for a long time. One of the most talked about aspects was the idea of influence. According to some discussions, there may have been more people involved than just the immediate family. This added another level of mystery to the story. People began to wonder if outside forces had played a role in shaping events. While nothing was confirmed, the idea itself was enough to keep the conversation going. It created a sense that the story was not fully understood yet and that there could be more revelations in the future. The emotional side of the situation also stood out. Family conflicts are always difficult, but when they become public, they can feel even more intense. Viewers began to think about what it must be like for those involved, dealing with both private tension and public attention at the same time. This made the story more relatable, even for people who were not familiar with the individuals before. It reminded everyone that behind the headlines, there are real relationships being affected. As the discussion continued to spread, different opinions began to form. Some people supported Erika Kirk, believing that she had her reasons for acting the way she did. Others strongly disagreed, saying that her actions went too far. This divide in opinion kept the conversation active as people debated what was right and what was wrong. It also showed how complex the situation was, with no clear answer that satisfied everyone. The role of media and online platforms became another important part of the story. The way information was shared, discussed, and sometimes even changed by different users showed how powerful social media can be. A single statement could be interpreted in many ways, and each interpretation could lead to a new wave of reactions. This made it difficult to separate facts from opinions, which added to the overall confusion. At the same time, the idea of timing became a key point. Many people noticed that the discussion came at a moment when attention was already high. This made some viewers question whether the timing was planned or simply a coincidence. Either way, it had a strong impact on how the story was received. It helped push the situation into the spotlight and kept it there for longer than expected. As more people joined the conversation, the story began to grow beyond its original context. It was no longer just about what Rogan said or what Erika Kirk did. It became a larger discussion about trust, influence, and how private issues can become public in today's world. This broader perspective made the story more interesting to a wider audience,
You
as
came
it
to him
touched
and
on themes
said,
that
this is what
many
I want to
people could
do.
relate
And he
to.
basically said,
As
you
more
got to learn
people
more.
joined the
You got to
conversation,
study.
the story began to grow beyond its original context. It was no longer just about what Rogan said or what Erika Kirk did. It became a larger discussion about trust, influence, and how private issues can become public in today's world. This broader perspective made the story more interesting to a wider audience, as it touched on themes that many people could relate to. There was also a sense that this was not the end of the story. Rogan himself hinted that more information could come out in the future. This created anticipation among viewers, who began to watch closely for any new developments. It also kept the topic alive, as people continued to speculate about what might happen next. The idea that there could be more to reveal added a sense of suspense to the entire situation. As the days went on, the conversation did not slow down. New posts, new reactions, and new theories kept appearing. It showed how a single discussion could turn into a major topic when it connects with people in the right way. The combination of mystery, emotion, and public attention made this story stand out from others. In the end, what started as a conversation turned into a full-scale discussion that reached millions of people. The involvement of Joe Rogan gave it a strong starting point, but it was the reactions and the ongoing debate that kept it alive. The situation involving Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk and his family became something much bigger than anyone expected. The most important thing now is what happens next. People are waiting to see if more details will come out and if those involved will respond publicly. Until then, the conversation continues, with everyone trying to make sense of what they have seen and heard. One thing is clear, this story has captured attention in a way that few others have, and it is not fading anytime soon.